ever wondered where women prefer to be touched and where they don't? In this video, we'll delve into the fascinating world of female erogenous and aversive zones as revealed by a study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine. This comprehensive research surveyed 441 cisgender women, mapping their personal zones of sensitivity and discomfort on anatomical illustrations. It's not just about generic sex advice, but understanding individual preferences and the importance of communication. So, are you ready to embark on this journey of discovery? Let's unpack these findings and understand what they mean. Starting with the erogenous zones, the study revealed some interesting facts. The research, which involved 441 cisgender women, used anatomical illustrations to identify personal, sensitive, and aversive areas. The clitoris, a small, sensitive area located at the top of the vulva, was rated highest for sensitivity. This is not surprising, considering there are over 8,000 nerve endings concentrated in this tiny area. This makes it one of the most sensitive regions of the human body, comparable to the fingertips and lips. However, the study also found that many women identified the vaginal entrance and the area around the urethral opening as significant erogenous zones. These zones are often overlooked, yet they offer a unique blend of tactile and temperature sensitivity. This sensitivity is due to the high concentration of nerve endings in these areas, which can lead to heightened pleasure when stimulated. The vaginal entrance in particular is a highly erogenous area. It's where most of the nerve endings in the vagina are located, making it extremely sensitive to touch. This sensitivity can be heightened even further during sexual arousal, as the area becomes engorged with blood, increasing sensitivity and pleasure. Likewise, the area around the urethral opening, often referred to as the U-spot, is another sensitive zone. This area is rich in nerve endings and can produce intense pleasure when stimulated correctly. Some women even report experiencing a different kind of orgasm, known as a urethral orgasm, when this area is stimulated. So, sensitivity greatly varies among women, and these areas were the most commonly highlighted. It's essential to remember that every woman's body is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. Therefore, communication is key when it comes to exploring these erogenous zones and understanding what feels best for each individual. By keeping an open mind and being attentive to your partner's responses, you can discover a world of pleasure that goes beyond the traditional understanding of female erogenous zones. Now, let's talk about breast and nipple sensitivity. This is a topic that is often swathed in mystery and misconceptions. According to the study we've been discussing, nearly 60% of participants found their breast tissue to be an erogenous zone. That's more than half of the women involved in the research. But the story doesn't just end there. Nipples were also reported as an erogenous zone, but with a twist. Due to their heightened sensitivity, they were also reported to be the most aversive spot by some women. This sensitivity can sometimes lead to discomfort or even pain, making the experience far from pleasant. This brings us to an important point, that sensitivity in these areas can be a double-edged sword. While it can lead to pleasure for some, it can cause discomfort for others. So, it's always important to approach these areas with care and understanding. It's clear that sensitivity can be a double-edged sword, providing pleasure or discomfort. Moving on to aversive zones, the study had some significant insights. The research revealed that the anus was often viewed as an aversive zone. In fact, 34% of the women involved in the study cited reasons such as discomfort or embarrassment for their aversion to this area. This highlights the importance of understanding and respecting individual boundaries when it comes to physical intimacy. Interestingly enough, this wasn't the case for all the women. 12% of the participants actually identified this same area as erogenous, showing a contrast in personal preferences. This again underlines the fact that there is no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to sexual pleasure. Each woman is unique, with her own set of preferences and comfort levels. It's crucial to have open and honest communication with one's partner about these aspects. Again, we see a broad spectrum of preferences and comfort levels among women. Let's delve into the topic of cervical sensitivity and the G-spot. Now, contrary to what many might believe, the cervix was often chosen as the most aversive spot within the vaginal canal. Yes, you heard right. The cervix, the lower part of the uterus, was not found to be universally pleasurable, as is often touted in popular culture. Instead, Many participants reported it to be a source of discomfort. However, interestingly enough, this wasn't the case for everyone. The research found that younger women were more likely to report the cervix as an erogenous zone. This highlights how individual experiences and preferences can greatly vary, even within the same anatomical areas. Now, let's turn our attention to the infamous G-spot. Located along the anterior or front wall of the vagina, it's often depicted as a magical button of pleasure. The study indicates that both the superficial and deep layers of this vaginal wall are indeed significant erogenous areas for many women. However, it's crucial to understand that this doesn't mean every woman will find stimulation here pleasurable. It's a reminder that understanding one's own body and communicating preferences with a partner is key to a satisfying sexual experience. These findings bust several myths about the cervix and the G-spot. So, what does all of this mean? Well, the study we've been discussing makes it clear that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to understanding women's erogenous and aversive zones. The research showed us some interesting trends, such as the clitoris being rated highest for sensitivity and the vaginal entrance and area around the urethral opening as frequently chosen erogenous zones. It also highlighted that sensitivity can lead to both pleasure and discomfort, as seen with nipple sensitivity. Furthermore, it broke some myths with findings like the cervix being the most frequently selected aversive spot within the vaginal canal, contrary to popular belief. The key takeaway from this is the importance of communication. It's crucial to talk with your partner about their individual preferences rather than relying on generic sex advice. Understanding is cultivated through open, honest conversations about comfort zones, desires, and boundaries. Remember, everyone's different, and communication is key to understanding your partner's preferences. Thanks for tuning in.